We had a soldiers' homecoming. Our soldiers' homecoming parade, which most people see as the catalyst for the EDL. What I want you to realise is there's a lot that's gone on before this that forms your view and forms your narrative and makes you realise how deep this problem is in your hometown, the town that you love. And that, I want you to remember that I'm telling you stories as Tommy Robinson or Stephen Lennon. For every Tommy Robinson or Stephen Lennon, there's one of me. There's people in every town and city across this country who are feeling and seeing these things. So we have a soldiers' homecoming. Scott Muntridge died. He's from the estate I lived in when I was younger. I was 26 years old. Michael Swain was 19, he lost his legs. Now, our soldiers are returning. I've gone to pay my respects that day because they've sacrificed that for us. As residents of Luton, they've gone there to fight for us, for our freedoms. I've gone there that day, and the first thing I've seen is a large police presence. I've then seen Saif al-Islam. I've seen groups of Muslim extremists around the town. I've seen 30 women together in burqas. It's quite a sight. Now, we set up a group called UPL. Maybe, what would you have done? Again, what would you have done? Bearing in mind the National Front and groups like this, after the soldiers' homecoming, wanted to attach themselves to our town. Would you have made placards that read National Front go to hell? Because that's what we done. Voters demand a St George's Day parade. I want you to understand what this was over. What it was all over. This was the start. When we met up this day for this demonstration, it was the community. My aunties were there. We were met by a police presence, a heavy-handed police presence. A horse flattened my uncle. My other friend, Isaac, little black lad, holding one of these placards, reading National Front go to hell. A police officer on a horse knocked his teeth out. Okay? He lost his teeth. We wanted to get to the war memorial. That's it. We were prevented from the police from getting to the war memorial. We were held and kettled for 4 hours. My auntie had to crouch, and we in the street. Now, I was there the day that Muslim extremists protested against our soldiers. When we turned up, we were made to line up against the wall. We had cameras in our faces. They put their hands in our pockets. They made us take our shoes off. Names, date of births, addresses. We felt violated by our own police force. Violated in a response where when Muslim fanatics were protesting against our soldiers, you didn't stop them. I was there. You didn't search them. You didn't harass them. You didn't harass their women. But you have us. So this now become about what we saw as oppression. We saw a two-tier policing system which we live under. Where there is an Islamic community, it's maybe not the fault of the Islamic community, but where there is an Islamic community, the police tiptoe around certain issues. We've seen it, you've read it with the Rotherham report. In that Rotherham report, you will read incidences where 2 fathers went to get their daughters back because their daughters were in a house being raped by Muslim men. When they went to get their daughters back, the police arrested the fathers. There was 5 Muslim men sexually abusing an 11-year-old child in a derelict house. The police turned up and arrested the child for being drunk and disorderly. These sort of stories could sound unbelievable, but they're real. And you need to understand that these stories are happening across the board in towns and cities. You need a report for Rotherham, get a report for every town and city in the country, because it's going on.